Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another round of Arbitration Studios, wheeling and dealing across the whole damn thing of Fallout New Vegas. I'm JP Arbiter.
I'm Mrs. Arbiter.
And we are at Hoover Dam outside of Boulder City, Nevada.
For the damn tour.
I'm here for the damn tour. I'm your damn guide. If you have any damn questions, be sure to speak up because that's the only way you're going to get some damn answers.
How many times did we ask that about bouncing around when we went?
I just wanted to ask, excuse me, is this a goddamn? You know, god damn it. Anyway, a little while ago, we got summoned to the Hoover Dam by this gal, Colonel Moore, effectively the second in command of the NCR garrison, directly overseeing the Hoover Dam itself, and again, effectively kind of like, because the Hoover Dam's the overall most
Good, you made it. I've been receiving reports about the savior of the NCR for a while now and wanted to meet you myself.
Kind of like the
You've proven yourself especially capable. And right now, I can use all the capable people I can get.
Yeah.
Crocker gets handed the fluff missions that no one else wants to do. When people need something really important done, they come to me. Usually I dispatch one or more rangers to see these things through, but I'm a little short-handed at the moment.
I mean,
Think you're up for a real mission? Since the majority of my men are on assignment dealing with the Legion, I need someone to handle other matters that have arisen.
To remind everyone,
make no mistake, there's a battle coming, and I intend to make sure there are no loose ends.
We are going to be helping the holy hell out of the
NCR
is
a gang known as
and
the
getting them
Great
as
Khans.
sweet on
Have
us
you heard
as
of them?
humanly possible, which means a nice, long, protracted campaign of helping them out, and then
I
at
don't
the
need to tell you that they can be a
very
pain in the
last
ass.
minute,
The NCR has a rather
we're
sordid
gonna
history
screw
with
them
them,
over.
and I'm concerned that we'll find them
Because
aiding
that's
our
how
enemies
I
when the
roll.
Legion attack comes.
Oh,
That
so we're
is,
gonna
unless we get to
wait.
them first.
Uh-huh.
I want you to visit them in their canyons to the far west and make sure they're in no shape to join the Legion.
So,
They're just another gang of raiders as far
anyway,
as I'm concerned.
this first
so
mission
deal
that
with them
Colonel Moore gives us, we
Any questions?
have to deal with a faction that I really like that has its roots going all the way back to the very first
Then you'll need
Fallout
to make
game.
sure none of them are left to do so.
And
Any other
goes
questions?
to a place that I am very fond of in the
I can't lend
Nevada
you any
desert,
troops, but I've already sent word to
and that
Quartermaster
you
Garden
have
that you're to be given
both
full access
very
to
fond
our
memories
hardware.
of and very painful
You'll have to pay for
memories
what
of
you take, however.
Red Rock Canyon
we can't
National
afford to
Park.
give away equipment.
Yes.
Did you have any other questions?
Very hot memories of, and I don't
Don't
need...
fool yourself. I've dealt with enough of these gangs to know that they can't be trusted. Was there anything else?
So the
Good.
the
I
story
look forward to hearing
for
of your progress.
Fallout 1 goes is
Dismissed.
that the Khans were part of a vault experiment way back in the day. I forget which vault, and I'm not going to look it up mid-recording. But it was basically a vault experiment of people with very different political ideologies and how they to see how they would work out. There's a vault in Fallout New Vegas that is similar, where it wasn't different political ideologies per se. What they did was that they subdivided the vault, including welded bulkheads between a red section and a blue section. Anyway, so one of the societies that came out of that vault was the Khans. And in Fallout 1, you had to deal with them in one of like 5 different ways, and like 3 of them involved extreme violence. It was one of the first missions that you did. I don't know off the top of my head what solution it was. It obviously was an extreme violence because you kill everyone in the Khan camp.
Mm-hmm.
But they go off and they evolve themselves into the Great Khans. I do love how Colonel Moore refers to them as savages and gangs.
Mm-hmm.
When you saw earlier totem poles in front of the entryway to the national park grounds.
Oh, okay.
Savages and gangs don't do that. There's culture here.
Yes. The culture of Vault 15 is kind of...
Vault 15, that's what it was. I want to say Vault 13, even though I know that's wrong because Vault 13 was the player character's vault.
Mm-hmm.
Vault 15 was the vault, like, immediately next door. It's like a week's walk.
Yeah.
That you, where you first go to try and find a replacement water chip. So, but, outside of Red Rock. You have the Khans who have set up shop here, and again, I argue there is a culture, there is a society here. We can talk about the merits of that society later, but with, you know, immediately next door in this little podunk town, Ruin, is like the contrast to it, the Vipers. Now, the Vipers in Fallout New Vegas are just a bunch of random, for want of a better word, thugs. It's hard to say criminals because, I mean, it's Mojave Wasteland. It's a lawless area.
Yeah.
But a bunch of thugs, highwaymen almost. Bonnie Springs, real-life town. I think we actually had lunch there after we toured Red Rock Park.
We might have. I don't remember.
At a Granite City, of all things, because you needed cold drinks and, like, cold food.
Red Rock Canyon in summer.
Literally, we got married on the first day of summer, and my psycho ass wanted to take you there on the day of our wedding anniversary.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's apology worthy.
6 months before would have been fine.
Yes, it would have. I camped in Red Rock National Park. Well, not in Red Rock. It was a nearby area. In November. So.
No, it just is really, really hot. They have plenty of. I'd love to walk the trails and see more of it, but it's just too blasted hot for me.
Well, the Mojave Desert is one of the most dangerous regions on the planet. So.
No, I know.
Just because of how inhospitable it is. But it's also, I mean, this park in particular, even before Fallout New Vegas came out, was one of, like, my favorite places in the world.
Oh, yeah,
and it was just,
always kind of raved about it.
And it was just all this, you know, the iron oxide embedded rock.
It actually, in real life, it was more red than it shows.
Well, the Obsidian, like, deliberately chose, and Bethesda did too in Fallout 3, now that I think about it, to, like, overlay the game with, like, this sepia tone to kind of give it this old cowboy movie flair. Which I love, but it's also not really, like it does drown out so much. And the contrast is really stark. Like, remember when we did Old World Blues and just how the color palette just completely inverted with that bright blue light everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, mood setting is what they do. And that's how they play, how they work it to keep the timetable and time frame in the range.
Yeah.
At least the time range that everything gets stuck at.
Yeah. And the sepia tone gets stronger when you approach Caesar's territory. Too. If anything, this is about as clean as it gets. Maybe when you, like, approach Jacobstown.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, hoop-de-doo.
I still feel like I'm going to see that lone IKEA sign in the middle of the canyon. I know it wasn't in the canyon, but still.
No, it was off on the highway off of it. I do love, and I love telling this story too, when I took you there and we were just off the, it was the first trail off the main drive, and it was literally just wanting to, like, look at and touch boulders and get a scenic over route, and going down was fine. Going down, you were absolutely fine. And meanwhile, you see me, and I immediately hop off the trail to leap on a boulder and then leap on another one, and you were looking at me like, I married this man? Where was this guy for the last 8 years?
Yeah, you were bouncing around the Red Rock Canyon like a fucking roadrunner.
I'm more of a coyote.
So the cub enters the wolf's den.
But still.
What do you want, cub?
The fact that you were bouncing around so freely, I was kind of jealous of. How are you this comfortable?
You want to hear the story of the great Khans?
It was,
it's
you
a
know,
long one, full of honor, glory, and betrayal.
My mother's family is
we
from
will
Phoenix.
regain our
Technically,
glory.
they're from Idaho, but they all moved to Phoenix after my grandpa's business went big.
In a hurry, are you?
And
well,
so
then.
we just...
The great Khans came
a
east
lot of
out
time
of the
in
NCR
Arizona,
14 years ago. We ruled the waste then and called
up.
no man
So,
master. But we underestimated the families of the Strip.
Here's our
and
here's
they
our
drove
big
us
leader,
back to
Papa
Bitter
Khan.
Springs,
First
where
off,
we
that
remained until
that
the
voice,
NCR
that
arrived and drove us here.
Papa Khan, Papa who?
Yeah, Yes,
they aligned
Daddy.
with Mr. House, the self-proclaimed master of New Vegas. He supported them with the resources of New Vegas. Weapons, technology, caps. They were better equipped, and we could not stand against them. When the NCR came to the Mojave, we thought they would be easy pickings.
Yes, I know.
We raided their caravans, their towns, their camps.
Terrible.
They couldn't stop us. At least that's what we thought.
They
tracked us to Bitter Springs and surrounded us. When our children, our sick and old, fled through a nearby pass, the NCR gunned them down.
So yeah, I mean, first off, this is where, like, I'm absolutely sympathetic to the cons, because they have just had bad luck after bad luck.
They claimed it was a miscommunication, but tell that to those who saw our families butchered. Tell it to the survivors who were banished here.
Of the camp as a result. Then you have the NCR constantly expanding and constantly pushing them out because they don't recognize the NCR's laws.
You're a bold one, I'll give you that.
They also can't
but why should I do
NCR.
This for you?
And
happens when you try and regulate yourself, try and self-regulate, and don't want to adhere to other people's laws and range, but the other are, rather than
the great cons will not be slaves.
Like
Caesar himself has promised us the land from here to the Colorado and the freedom to raid as we see fit. I won't hear any more talk against Caesar or his alliance. The great cons will answer Caesar's call to war, and the NCR will pay for their crimes.
Expansion and running into native tribe territory.
Yeah.
With the same result.
Oh, yes.
So, anyway, Papa Khan, he is unmoved. And we've got
seen you before.
This guy right next to him,
What brings you
Regis.
to the great cons?
Now, Regis is an interesting character as well, and really all of the cons' characters are really
Name's
interesting.
Regis. I'm Papa Khan's advisor and right-hand
Regis
man.
agrees with
I'm also the chief
Papa
enforcer
Khan.
of the tribe's laws, so watch your behavior.
Thinks that Papa Khan has done the tribe well.
Papa is one of the best leaders the cons have ever had. He's kept us together through all of our hardships ever since we left California. Bitter Springs changed him, though. He started to really hate the NCR after the massacre. And sometimes I worry that's poisoned his mind.
Holding on to drive you, or will it?
Nothing.
And if you do
Forget
that,
about
will
it.
it consume
I shouldn't be
you
talking
instead?
about this with an outsider.
And that's kind of like the big lesson. Of
but I
this
can't
whole
bring myself to
thing.
hate them the way Papa does. Things would damn sure be better for us if they were in charge than Caesar.
Because Regis here, he'll gladly defend the
suppose
tribe
if
against the
asked, I
NCR,
would.
and he has
But that's
no
a moot
love lost
point,
for
because Papa's in charge
NCR
now.
troopers he's gunned
He's not
down,
going
but
anywhere.
he also acknowledges that he doesn't have
That's
to.
a complicated question. They've done horrible things to our people, to be sure, and I've gladly killed many of their soldiers in battle. But I can't bring myself to hate them the way Papa does. Things would damn sure be better for us if they were in charge than Caesar.
Spite or because you have this hard-on against them.
I suppose if asked, I would. But that's a moot point, because Papa's in charge now, and he's not going anywhere.
But then here we have, anyway, it's a moot point because Papa Khan's in charge, and I am not going to undermine him. So yeah, that puts us at what I think can be generously described as an impasse. So we need to figure out what to do. But then there's this wild card thrown in here.
You're the one making a name for yourself among
This
the
is
troops,
Carl.
What is it you need?
Carl!
My name is Carl. Glorious Caesar has sent me as an emissary to the great
Carl
Khans
is a
as a token of our alliance.
Caesar. The same kind of person as Vulpes and Culta.
In exchange for great Caesar's promise of all the lands west of New Vegas, the Khans have agreed to fight alongside the Legion when the time comes.
Well, he's... And we will
I'm one
find
of the
this
Frumentari.
out.
It is
He's
my
here
duty
to
scout
recruit
the
the
waste in
Khans
Caesar's
as
name
the
and make contact with any
tribe,
tribes that might serve a useful purpose. You might say I'm somewhere between a scout and an ambassador. I'm assigned here as part of the alliance between the Legion and the great Khans.
And it's kind of his job to make the Khans the next one. On orders of Caesar, and he's doing all the classic stuff. He's sucking up to them, saying your strength will augment ours.
Though they have been cruelly oppressed by the NCR, the Khans remain great warriors. The Legion is honored to have such allies in battle.
Pillage and and all complete bullshit. Because that's not how Caesar operates. We know this from when we spoke to Caesar. Caesar wants a single unitary government.
I heard you try to convince Papa Khan not to join with Caesar's Legion. I'd like to talk to you about that for a moment.
Government and industry.
He wants to keep
you want to convince Papa not to ally with Caesar, right? Trust me, you'll get nowhere just talking to him about it.
And again, we could
He's fixated on restoring the glory of the great Khans, and he sees Caesar as the path to that restoration.
For a post-apocalyptic
Papa can be a stubborn man, but he's not a tyrant. He listens to his tribe, and to 4 voices in particular: me, Jack, Diane, and Melissa.
But
if you can convince all of us that allying with Caesar is a bad idea, you might be able to sway him.
One person being in charge of everything.
I have my doubts about Caesar, yes, but I won't publicly go against Papa Khan based on nothing more than doubts.
But the thing that
I've heard rumors that tribes who aligned with Caesar in the past were torn apart and reduced to slaves. Prove it, and I'll back you.
Of Caesar's Legion.
You'd have to talk to them, but those 2 have been thick as thieves since they were kids. Convince one, and the other will come around.
You've got plenty of people advocating for the NCR. You've got plenty of people advocating for a third way. You even have some people advocating for Mr. House.
She's a bit of a dreamer. Last time she was in camp, Carl filled her head with stories of serving the Legion as a speculatore.
Anyway. Yeah.
Personally, I've never seen a woman in Legionnaire's armor, so I have my doubts.
Caesar. Which is...
No one is
good. Oh, one more thing.
Which is
Caesar's
interesting because
Carl
if you pay attention to the environment in the game,
Carl's the one who has him so fixated on this alliance. You'll probably have an easier time of things if you can find a way to get him out of the picture.
And no raiders. You are safe so long as the Legion does not consider you an enemy.
That's interesting.
Carl talks prettily about the honor and nobility of the great Khans, but I suspect his actual opinion is less flattering.
Now, we could just
Maybe you could find something he wrote that expresses that opinion.
That's the easy way.
Or trick him into losing his cool in the longhouse right in front of Papa.
Colonel Moore that's what she wants, which is like, you need to send like a battalion down
I
here
would
to do
too, if I were you.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But Regis gives us a diplomatic solution. We go back to Colonel Moore and we report in. And
yes.
Here's her
Do you have
reaction.
an update on the Khans? An alliance? That's an interesting proposition. Any plan where I can throw packs of raiders at the enemy instead of my own soldiers is a good one.
And I don't know if this is her...
We don't have time for diplomacy. This battle is coming any time now. If the leader won't be budged, he'll have to be replaced. I want you to go back to Red Rock Canyon and assassinate this Papa Khan. You'll have to be stealthy. If they see you do it, they'll kill you.
It's like, okay, if there's an alliance in the works, if there is a peaceful solution,
then why are you...
Papa Khan's in the way, get rid of Papa Khan. Alright, I'll try to win him over. No, get rid of him. Kill him. And that's not gonna work. No. Fortunately, Regis gave us enough other options, and I think if we just don't tell Colonel Moore that Papa Khan is alive, that it won't matter. Because the Khans will be on their side. Or at the very least, not attacking the NCR.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
So.
Maximum effort.
Maximum effort. Here we go. So, the first leadership that we have to talk to, we have to sing a little ditty about Jack and Diane. Two Mojave kids doing everything they can.
Keeping them high. The drugs and cigars. All of them drugs.
One drugs,
hey,
please.
Look who it is bringing that good con karma around.
Yep. So, first off, always get to know people.
We don't, like, do anything.
Jack's an interesting character, happy-go-lucky.
We make the happy stuff. What do you need? Jet, Psycho, a little Med-X to
But he
ease
knows
the
how
pain?
to make the stuff.
Guess I just had a natural talent for it.
He clearly
when
gets
I was a
high
kid,
on his own
these
supply.
cats called the Followers of the Apocalypse came to our camp. They knew all kinds of kooky, scientistical stuff, so I ate up all the chemistry they could teach. Diane had to head for business, so we teamed up.
And then they just turned it into a narcotics business.
Their family,
but, they made it a recreation.
They've always looked out for us, made sure we had something to eat and a place to crash.
They always looked out
Papa
for us.
may look like a big angry bear, but he's a softy at heart. Regis is cool, scary, but cool. The rest are all pretty groovy.
So that
even little Jerry.
Beaten the heck up.
Yeah, beaten half to death. Who's Jerry?
The other dudes call him Jerry the Punk. That's kind of harsh, though. I think he's just a sensitive soul that needs some love. So, he's usually down around the proving ground if you want to say yo.
And people and references.
Look, kitty cat, me and Diane, we don't dig on that politics stuff,
Fallout is
savvy?
shameless.
We just make the product and make it get to a good home. Sure, Caesar's a drag, but as long as we got each other, we don't care who the top dogs roll with.
Out loud. Say Dave's not here, man, and we'll have a whole thing going on.
Dude, what a total haul. No way that's Copa Shishi. Yeah, okay. Me and Diane got your back. No sweat.
This is how we get to him, is that we threaten Diane.
Oh, it's cool, kitty cat. I got your back.
Well, not threaten Diane. We state exactly what's going to happen to Diane.
Morning.
Now, technically, we don't need to interact with Diane
regulars.
at all.
What do you want?
If we spoke with Diane, we wouldn't need to interact with Jack. We can win over
we
Jack
keep the great
with the pure
from falling
force
apart,
of charisma. Diane needs a little favor.
I organize the runners and the
shipments.
shipments.
It anyway because it's experience points. So...
We make regular shipments to a lot of settlements around the Mojave. A lot of our business comes from the fiends lately.
I am a
Personally, I think they're kind of creepy. But Papa likes the fact they get all hopped up on Psycho and harass the NCR patrols.
The Legion at all.
We're supplying things people want in exchange for things our tribe needs.
In exchange for things our tribe needs. Don't judge us. I'm not judging you, but I am calling you what you are. You know, it's...
I'll spare you the history lesson. Talk to Papa Khan if you want to hear that story. Things have been rough for a while now. Even with Jack working all the time and my runners making deliveries daily, we're barely getting by. Maybe this alliance with Caesar will help, but I don't know.
Well, and no, they
Red
don't
Rock
have
Canyon
to
isn't exactly the most hospitable place. There's no food,
that's actually
barely
like
any
the
water, and
dumbest
nothing
fucking
anybody
myth
wants.
Ever, and
we used to send patrols out to acquire
personal pet
supplies,
theory that police
but ever since
intentionally
Bitter
spread
Springs,
it
there just
around.
aren't enough of us left.
Oh, that could have been sure at some point.
It's like, who the hell?
Don't
would
worry,
even
Jack and I have
buy
talked
that
it over.
myth?
We'll talk up the idea of breaking the alliance.
So anyway, one of her drug
look like you could
mules
handle
got
yourself in a
captured by
All right, I'll tell
the
you
Legion.
what. Anders, one of my best runners,
so
is
we
overdue
gotta
to
find
report
him.
back. If you can find out what
That's
happened
okay.
to him,
Anders
I'll give you some
is
real
his name.
work.
He's hanging around, I'm sure.
Yep.
About 3 weeks ago, I sent Anders southeast to find a route into Arizona to open new markets for our product. He should have been back 2 days ago, but there's been no sign of him.
I guess we'll know when we see him, right?
Yeah, we'll know when we see him.
Prove you're reliable on this, and I'll have more.
Hey.
And for some reason, our Pip-Boy will be pointing us out towards Legion territory. It's like, were you really trying to sell this shit to the Legion? That was dumb.
Yeah, the one thing Legion is very strict on is no foreign substances.
Yeah. So... which, don't get me wrong, I like and I appreciate the fact that they adhere to a straight-edge lifestyle. You know, I mean, medics, when performing vital surgery like emergency amputations, might be appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can appreciate saying no jet, no mentats, no daddy-o.
Nothing that's going to leave you with the wrong
elevated senses, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, heck, they don't even like combat stims like Buff Out or Slasher, because you know, yeah, they're great, but they'll also give you tachycardia when they wear off. So here he is. Here's Jerry the Punk. Hey, Jerry the Punk.
What do you want?
Oh my God, you have an emo haircut.
I can tell you they're a bunch of big dumb jerks with no appreciation for art. I mean, can you believe their initiation?
He's got the look.
Everybody has to do it. Well, everybody who wants to be a con anyways. They toss you into the ring there and beat on you for a solid minute.
Well,
if you survive,
that or
you're
like
in.
painting or something.
Sure, maybe not if you're some hulking reprobate like Regis or big to the gills like Jack.
You're in the middle of the freaking
I've tried 5 times
desert.
and still haven't made it.
About impossible to stay pale.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I can find my true calling, someplace they'll appreciate my poetry.
Someplace where I can
someplace like the old Mormon fort, maybe. Do you think the followers of the apocalypse would take me? I remember all those books they brought us when they visited
Wonder if
our
the followers of the apocalypse will take me. Followers of apocalypse will take fucking anyone. You're like the X-Men.
I don't know. I mean, I'd go myself, but what if they said no?
Well,
you'd do that? Thanks. I mean, I'd go myself, but what if they said no? The cons wouldn't take me back, and then I'd have...
Cry me a river.
All right, Justin Timberlake.
Whatever.
God. Honestly, with the cons mind, I shot him. So, quick...
Only because I don't think they want you to kill anyone in their territory.
Yeah, that's their...
affiliated to them.
If anyone's gonna kill anyone in their territory, it's gonna be them.
Yeah.
So, hey, Julie, got a prospect.
Welcome back,
for
friend.
You.
Hey, Ms. Mohawk.
Which is
We're
such
always
a weird
looking for new members.
Well,
excellent.
He's a bright,
Ezekiel's been after me to find him a new assistant
useless,
for ages.
But you can train
Tell the boy
him.
we'll take him.
And he is bright, clearly, or at least has a vocabulary of someone who's bright. So, anyway.
Acts like he's bright.
Yep.
Meaning there's an attempt at it.
There's naivety. So over at the Sniper's Nest, this whole area, Cottonwood Cove, is where our Pip-Boy says Anders is.
So, gotta find Anders.
But you can see what I mean, though, about the sepia tone being even heavier in Caesar's territory.
Yeah. Then you see almost no color. Color begins to go even darker.
Yeah, like I said, almost old spaghetti western movies.
Makes me think of the initial coloration they had in Pleasantville. Or was that the movie name?
Pleasantville was black and white.
That was just flat black and white.
Oh, hey, there's Anders. He's hanging around.
So he did cross somebody.
Please, help me.
Oh, nice.
Thank God. Let me down,
please. I guess I didn't appreciate his walk on water joke.
I don't know.
That one didn't work. I'm sorry.
No.
Thunk.
Thanks for getting me down
your
from that
3-week walk back
I owe you one.
Being crippled.
Yeah.
They did?
Oh, he'll just
Probably
find
mostly
some,
Jack's idea.
He
always was the soft touch.
And
thanks. You've saved my life and done the great cons a huge favor.
I don't know.
I'll be heading back to Red Rock Canyon
I don't know.
now.
Anything's possible.
Maybe we'll see each
now,
other
something
there.
else that I did off screen for the XP is that Jack knows how to make some basic stuff. I teach him how to make everything.
Legion Patrol caught me trying to cross the river.
I probably could have taught him how to
package I was carrying.
Manufacture Glock's horse insemination tools.
Horse insemination tools?
Yeah, in addition to pistols, Glock also makes things for horse insemination.
Anders told me what happened.
That's
weird.
We owe you one for rescuing him.
Weird, but I can understand the
Here you go.
Need for that.
Enjoy it.
Well, I mean, yes, there's an agricultural need for that, but there's also a...
Do you need something?
It's also very...
Who we have here?
They moved into the quarry after the powder gangs
Lewis.
came
we
through and made off with most of our
He
dynamite.
told us not to
We
go
shut
that
the
way
quarry down while we waited for the NCR to get us some more blasting sticks.
Unfortunately, the
but now the death claws have shown up.
Here
the NCR
is on the other
is a
side of the
no-show.
death clause. So if I'm going to
my
go
men and I have got nothing to do but sit on our asses all day. It's damn frustrating.
The bare minimum.
Plus, he's kind of important.
I don't know what it is about you, but I think you could actually pull it off. Death claws are tough bastards, but you might be even tougher. Nobody here is any use to you in a fight against death claws, but take these medical supplies. You'll probably need them. Do the job right, you've got to get rid of the pack leaders, the Mother Death Claw and the Death Claw Alpha Male. Should run the rest of them all.
When I played multiplayer against a Korean student. Never again. So, like, I knew what death claws were, but I was kind of like, because Fallout 3 took place on the opposite end of the United States, and there were these creatures called mud crabs everywhere. Or mirelurks, excuse me. Ugh. I kind of thought that those were going to take the place of Deathclaws. I was wrong. I was so very, very wrong.
Deathclaws were worse.
I remember one chased me like across a quarter of the freaking map in Fallout 3 because I was just not equipped to deal with it. The thing that I appreciate about Fallout New Vegas, though, is that we have multiple types of Deathclaws now. Whereas in Fallout, you just had Deathclaws. So,
well, there's something to be said about that.
So, yeah, we got baby Deathclaws, who apparently were making a meal out of that poor fella.
All of the dust as you're walking.
Well, it is a quarry.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything. Just...
If anything, I appreciate the cover it gives me. So, in addition to the Deathclaw babies,
Deathclaw mamas.
We have a Deathclaw mama and a Deathclaw daddy, and then I guess the regular Deathclaws are just adolescents?
I guess so.
Or maybe they're just adults who either...
They're just adults, and I do think they...
Crap!
That seems to be the...
And this is the thing that in Fallout 3 was near impossible, because Deathclaws were just so bloody tough.
That's why they changed it up.
Well, the thing that makes Deathclaws so dangerous in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I don't know how they function in 4, because by the time you encounter them, you've got power armor, and power armor works so dramatically differently in Fallout 4. But in Fallout 3, Deathclaw's attacks just completely ignore your armor protection. You're working off of your base toughness. In this case, in Fallout New Vegas, because they modified the code a little bit, they ignore your damage threshold, which is the amount of damage your armor will just absorb before your hit points start taking it. So,
interesting.
So it works a little differently, and with a lightly armored character like us, that makes Deathclaws unbelievably dangerous. You know,
I believe that.
We have to be sneaky. We are hunters. You know, we're like the Australian dude, or maybe he was South African in Jurassic Park. Clever girl. So,
I'm just thinking like Crocodile Dundee.
Well, that too.
Uh-oh.
So, in the lore of the Fallout universe, Deathclaws were a particular type of lizard that got dumped, either accidentally or intentionally, it's never quite clear, into the forced evolutionary virus, and got turned into these 9-foot-tall, slashy monsters of doom that look suspiciously like demons or devils.
Of doom?
Yep.
I haven't seen those doom monster in years.
Jacob's chameleons, I think, was what it was. In Fallout 2, there were intelligent ones who could talk.
They could talk?
Yep.
Why could they talk?
Don't ask me.
Okay. I'm still asking because that's the...
I'm wondering what the hell Jacob's chameleons were doing in abundance in... Or maybe it was Jackson chameleons were doing in abundance in the United States to make a biological weapon out of. But, no, I digress. What?
Maybe from zoos? I don't know.
I don't think I mean, one zoo might have, like, a pair in their reptile hut. These are what you think of when you think of chameleons in general. You know, with the bouncy eyes and the pincer hands and whatnot. Really, it's like, there's no similarity there between a Deathclaw and a chameleon in my mind, but
fair. Perfectly fair.
Look, I need to be on this elevated position, otherwise these things will freaking murder me. Come on. Give me a target. Give me a target. I do like how the matriarch has the horns not pointed forward but swept back. Kind of reminds me of that alien chick from Species. Ow.
Species, the movie franchise, it doesn't seem to die. It feels like there's always another one.
Somewhere out there.
Uh-huh. It's just weird.
Supposedly, Deathclaws will be making an appearance in the second season of the TV show, as will Super Mutants.
I wonder who ends up in that suit. Because you know there'll be people gunning for that. They will want that as a costume. And then he gives the Deathclaw a pet boy. Because they can.
Another variant of the Deathclaw that we will encounter is that there is a version of the Deathclaw that is blind. I don't remember where we find them.
I feel worse about a creature that is blind because there's this Netflix series, Camp Cretaceous, that goes into depth on one dinosaur that was chained to be blind, but have every single one of its other senses evolved. And it's terrifying. Something that can literally smell and feel you out, almost like you almost use an echolocation.
The Deathclaws from Fallout Tactics were fuzzy and had a rhino horn, I know that.
That just looks weird.
Yep. I don't know if it was in the game or if it was cut, but there was also a, or if it was in the Brotherhood of Steel game, but there was another Deathclaw variant that was more like
Deathrilla. Still terrifying to consider in all cases.
Yep. Big, scary mutant thing gonna kill us all.
Mm-hmm. Actually, looking at what initially what they look like almost remind me of Oni from Japanese lore.
Well, that's not far off.
The only distinctive feature being the double or single horn.
Well, the one that I showed you was from Fallout Tactics. The original Fallout was very much along the same lines as what we see in Fallout 3 in New Vegas. Okay. I do like the Fallout 4 design in general. It looks more evolved. It looks more, really, I just kind of like the Texas Longhorn hooked beak sort of thing. Or not hooked beak, but hooked horn. It's refined. So anyway, now that all that's over, though, we got our last, or
that's
penultimate, I should say.
What do you want with the Great Khans? awaiting a delivery, but it's a no-show.
Because we already had
Regis. I'm guessing
Regis,
that the death clause in the quarry have something to do with that.
I do love how Melissa here has an Australian accent.
Is that right?
It's like, where the hell did that come from? Because accents are not a product of biology. They're a product of culture.
You help us.
They are.
I was expecting a shipment of chemicals.
Well, that's
it's usually in a suitcase dropped off in one of the big machines up here.
I guess.
Because of the death clause, I have to assume the suitcase is still in the slime.
That's the most that I can make out of it.
Yeah, why they're also sitting here when there's a bunch of death claws
I wouldn't eat or drink them, but no. They won't
too.
explode if you drop them or anything.
Stuck and don't want to admit it.
Don't kill anybody if you don't have to. I'm a scout and I like to keep a low profile.
She said she was interested in the cons because she was being buttered up.
She was being buttered up and told that she would, by Carl, that she had the making of a legionary type that he literally just makes up. And we don't even need to investigate whether or not that's true, because what's the main
come from anyone else, I'd say they were drunk or crazy. But that look in your eyes, I believe you. I can pay you, but it ain't much for what you pulled off. I'll get on the ham radio first thing and tell people all about you, though.
They're not really valued.
Well, they're valued as tools for the state. To maintain production, because people are valuable assets for the state.
Anyone who can produce more people, they want.
Yep. It's very much in line. It is the nature of a totalitarian government.
True.
Where everything is an asset for the state. So...
yes.
Everything and everything.
And that's not even a creative interpretation. Caesar says it himself.
There'd still be no delivery.
Yeah, there's no...
the supplier, a guy in Prim named Tyrone.
There's no filling in the blanks with this. So.
Even though he's already been paid in advance.
The blanks are already filled in.
Mm-hmm.
Well filled in.
So this is why I wanted to speak to Chomps ahead of time. The stuffer is supposed to pick up. Chomps is supposed to supply. He's supposed to supply it for
takes a little too much after her mother, rest her soul.
Or from an NCR trooper, and he's supplying it to his daughter to keep his daughter out of trouble with the NCR itself. So it's like, if I'm the middleman here and passing this along, then she's not gonna get caught. So, yeah. But now we've got a whole thing where the trooper who supplies the basic chemicals screwed Chomps over, which means Melissa's screwed over, which means that we gotta go and we got to get it so that way we can get Melissa on our side. It's literally nothing more than, hey, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and oh, by the way, your new boyfriend's lying to you.
Liar, liar, person.
Mm-hmm. Now, so we're back in Prim. Hey, remember when we came here?
Oh, I remember Prim.
Buddy of mine and I went to or stayed in Prim overnight when we were driving to move him back from California to Kansas. So that was a fun little time.
And how far could you see the Vegas lights?
Almost from the California-Nevada state line.
Wow.
Now, it was just a faint glow on the nighttime horizon, but it was there.
That's just the biggest curiosity, is how far you can see the strip lights.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, Las Vegas is a beacon in the night to in the Nevada desert. So.
Very, very true.
Here we are, and who are you? Tyrone.
Hey,
oh my
hey,
God,
what can Tyrone do for you?
I punch you in the face because of your name, and now I want to punch you in the face because of how you talk.
You trying to get me busted? Keep your damn voice down. Lieutenant Hayes already has his eye on me.
Ah, so he's holding back because he's already under scrutiny.
The NCR is getting suspicious of all these.
I think I know how we can loosen his lips.
Bigger risk means bigger cost.
And his
300
and
caps
his purse
bigger.
strings.
Mm-hmm.
We tug at his drawstrings.
And something else.
Uh-huh.
Well, it works. Go for it.
It's been a while.
We have no shame.
All right, let's do this.
Veronica can stay guard.
I mean, yeah, because Veronica's not into men.
Nope.
So.
She's more into silence.
No, she's
what do you want now?
She is a full-on lesbian.
Oh.
You
Christine
actually came through for us. I didn't expect that.
Right.
Anyway, the Great Khans pay their debts and don't.
Well,
if you ever come out to Red, we're an independent group. We take care of our own and don't take crap from anybody, especially the NCR.
Yeah. I know that. I'm telling you that you're lying, or being lied to.
Bitter Springs happened. Women and children died when the NCR attacked the Great Khans there.
Come on, let's go.
And the NCR just pretends it never happened.
Let's go. Let's keep moving. Moving and grooving.
It wasn't easy.
All night.
There's a lot of initiation rituals to go through, and I've got the scars to prove it.
I do love the
but in the end, I was tough enough to be made a member. Proudest day of my
life.
life.
That's why we had I think we had the exact same. No, we had the little devil horn hairstyle until I got the beret.
Yeah.
How's it going?
So.
You can ask, but why would I do that?
You can ask, but I want
Carl
to.
told me all about the life in the Legion.
A speculator.
He says I've got all the makings of a speculator.
Oh, wow.
That's made up.
Yeah, that has to be made up. There's
what do you mean aren't allowed to serve?
About it.
Why would he lie about that?
Makes sense.
That lying little weasel. I almost fell for it too. All right, you've got a deal. You can tell Papa I won't support an alliance.
They were essentially scouts and cartographers. So, like, he was using an actual thing, but not really...
But not in the appropriate manner.
They also served inside Rome as a police force until that was replaced by the Fermentari.
Interesting. So what are you doing now? What are we going at now?
Well, Regis needed proof that the Legion enslaves the tribes that it gets. So, this is me being a little embarrassed, but I was like, okay, I need to not be seen taking this book. So I got myself hidden by dancing on top of the thing. I could have just taken it. Because it was not labeled as owned. They wouldn't have cared. And they wouldn't have cared because we're on their side right now. Or at least we're not an enemy of the Legion. So we got the book, and we present it to Regis, who clearly is an educated man here.
Hello.
Considering he's surrounded by books, unless he's burning them.
You honor the Great Khans with your present.
So, look at this. Look at what happened to the twisted
My God,
hairs.
This is even worse than I thought. Okay, you...
So, we got Regis, we got Melissa, we got Jack, and we got Diane on our side. Now let's do something really fun.
Ooh. Barroom Brawl?
Well, we still have the...
I mean, not quite, but...
We still have Carl to deal with. Now, we could make Carl disappear, but I think it'd be much more fun if we, goad him.
Oh, yes.
Caesar's veterans will arrive from Arizona soon, and there will be no stopping our victory.
I've been wondering why you don't petition the Khans for membership as a show of allegiance.
Oh, no, I simply couldn't.
I'm not worthy of such an honor.
I'm not worthy of such an honor.
You're not worthy, or they're not worthy?
Of course I am.
They're fine warriors. Caesar I wouldn't wish to compare the Legion to the Khans.
And I wouldn't wish to compare them to the Great Khans.
So you need the Khans that badly?
Enough! How dare you compare Caesar's finest to this tribe of savages? The mightiest Great Khan is scarcely a match for a Legion recruit. The burned man would leave their mightiest shitting themselves in terror. I would. That is...
Oh.
You mother...
Great Khans. Hey!
Someone
come on.
Like that.
Boink, 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 boink.
Shots fired. Oof.
Rolled up like a joint and smoked.
All 4 of my most trusted advisors have told me we should break our alliance. Maybe I should hear you out after all.
It's very simple. You ally with Caesar, you are
I've heard some
you're
things
killing
from my
your
most
tribe
trusted
now.
cons. It makes me wonder whether this alliance is a good idea
Talk
after
about
all.
killing your
But
tribe
I want to leave a
later
legacy of greatness when I die. My tribe deserves better than this, cowering in a canyon and living on scraps.
Here's the thing. We have 2
if
choices.
I don't join with Caesar's
we can
Legion,
encourage
where will I find my tribe's lost glory?
To leave the Mojave Desert forever, or we can encourage him to Leroy Jenkins' the Legion. I say leave.
Leave.
It's
something that makes sense.
It doesn't, it's continuing to allow the NCR to colonize their territory, which I know leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But the fact of the matter is that they have 2 choices. Either assimilate with the NCR or leave the NCR. And leave far and run far enough away that the NCR will never bother them again. So that's kind of like what they need to do.
Okay.
If they're not willing to assimilate. So now, thankfully, our speech is high enough because we wanted to sweet talk people. So we're just going to we're just gonna give him the real thing and use our charisma to explain to him. Otherwise, you have to track down picture books and whatnot because he's illiterate.
Oh, great.
Explaining how Genghis Khan ruled the steppes of Asia. So, it's work with what you got, So, anyway, you don't need to look
Well spoken, traveler. Well spoken indeed. Perhaps it's time to find our own destiny, unburdened by the past. We'll begin readying the camp to move. As soon as Caesar makes his move, we'll depart. We will make ourselves strong again, and we shall conquer.
To empower women.
And also, frankly, it was, okay, you're part of my empire now, just pay your taxes.
If you should ever tire wandering alone, seek us out. You might just have the makings of a great Khan yourself.
By sending the husbands to the front of the war.
Yep. So, anyway, and Genghis Khan had a lot of daughters, as we well know.
A lot of children, period.
I was like, what is it, a quarter of the human race is descended from Genghis Khan? So, anywho, that is the story of the Great Khans in its entirety. We go back, we report to Colonel Moore, and we finish this one up.
The Legion
and see what she has for us next. So, thank you all for hanging out with us today. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons.
We've had reports for years that they're the ones who supply the fiends with chems, but no one's done anything about it.
See you later.
In any event, no one will miss them. And I've got another mission for you. We've had some disturbing reports recently concerning the Omertas, one of the 3 families that run the Strip. Our intelligence has discovered that high-ranking members of the Omertas have been having clandestine meetings for the past several months. We haven't been able to determine whom they've been meeting with, but if it's Caesar's men, we'll need to act. I need you to uncover what they're up to and stop it if it threatens the NCR. Any questions? Head to their casino, Gomorrah, and ask around. If you discover that what they're up to threatens the NCR, stop it. The Omertas themselves likely won't be forthcoming, so you may need to talk to some of their help to pick up a trail. Anything else? Our preliminary research shows that the Omertas used to do some business in Freeside, mostly buying weapons. Any other questions? Liza O'Malley at the embassy may have some information for you as well. Dismissed.
Count on that.